Seems like a pretty fiery, smart guy.
Tyler's been great so far. Our first phone call, he talked about, gaining trust with us, and I think he's starting to do that, and we love him so far. Very fiery, as you mentioned, and we appreciate all that. We love it.
What is the acclimation process when you do get a new position coach? Are you going out to lunch? Are you, just having endless phone calls? Or how do you kind of get to know the man and the coach at the same time?
Yeah, so that first phone call that he gave me, he got hired in February after the season ended. So I was on my way out of town, so it started off with phone calls and then texts throughout the off season. But now that we're face-to-face, a lot of time in the position room together and getting to know him as an individual, him getting to know us, and then, of course, the football side of things as well.
You've been together with Brock now for 3 years. What is the value of that continuity within a room to have a guy that you know what he's about, he knows what you're about, and you have that trust built up?
Yeah, in terms of communication, it's getting to the point where a lot of things don't really need to be said between Brock and I. We're just out there and we know what we both need. We know what's going on. We kind of just look at each other, give each other the agreeance look, this is how we're going to work this set or, fit this run scheme. So we're just on the same page a lot, and communication is starting to become less and less, which is a good thing, just operating without all the extra stuff, I guess.
Curious, heading into your third season, what maybe your focus was this offseason? What kind of just business as usual? Was there one specific focus at all? How'd you kind of attack the offseason?
So my first offseason, I had ankle surgery. So I was trying to prepare the body for my second season. This season, I came out pretty healthy, which is great. I got to take some time off, just let my body relax for the first time since basically fall camp of my senior year at Iowa. So it's kind of a long stretch, but took a couple weeks to relax and then, hopped back on the bike and started going again. Yeah.
Sam, it felt kind of like last off-season. We found out that Ben and AG were coming back, and it was kind of a continuation of, okay, what went on in San Francisco. We're all on a mindset that we got to get there and get the job done.
Yep.
You guys come back this year, and things are different. Can you give me just kind of a sense, in the room amongst the guys, where the mindset is? Does it feel different? How has that changed since last offseason?
There is some new faces. You get that every year in the NFL. There's new guys that come in. You adapt. You overcome. With the new coaches, it's been great so far. Learning, some new stuff. Some stuff has stayed the same. So, building those relationships, continuing to do the work, and it's football. It's a ever-changing, evolutionary game. So there's always going to be change, and just moving forward towards a common goal.
Unfinished business with this group?
Every year we feel like there's unfinished business. We know that we have the players to go out and win games, and the biggest ones as well. So unfinished business, of course, and yeah.
On year two for you, what areas were you most pleased with, and then what areas do you feel like you can push the bar higher in 2025 and beyond?
I was very pleased with how my run game, the blocking, came along in year two. I felt like I was still a very polished receiver in the pass game. There was a lot of weapons last year, so I kept hearing comments maybe this offseason, why didn't you get the ball as much? It's dude, we scored the most points out of any team in the NFL in the last 5 years. Everybody deserves the ball. And I agree. I think I deserve the ball still, but I was very pleased with how I blocked last year in the run game. Looking ahead this year, I think just continue to polish things off in the run game, the pass game, start to see the game from the quarterback's perspective, what Jared needs exactly, and maybe not just knowing what I'm doing on the field, but what other people are doing as well, just seeing the big picture, really.
Just going on unfinished business, but the schedule, you guys got one of the toughest NFL schedules, man. When you saw that come out, you guys getting tested immediately, what's your thoughts on just facing these tough teams that you got and how it can prepare you for the ultimate goal?
I think every game in the NFL is tough. There's 17 tough opponents, 17 tough games. We know we're playing in a tough division every year, so we're prepared for that. we get prepared with our strength staff and the coaches the right way, and then we take that into training camp, then we take that to the regular season and then the postseason. So a lot of exciting opportunities out there. 17 wins, hopefully.
Sam, you just mentioned all the offensive talent on your guys' team. I'm curious, when the news comes down that the NFL players are going to be allowed to play at the Olympics, what's the reaction among the group, and is that something that you would, like to do if you're able?
That's 2028. I feel like that's so far away. I mean, just thinking back, like 2 years coming into the league in 2023, and now it's 2025. It feels like an eternity, to be honest, in the best way possible. But that's pretty far away. If I was to be selected, I feel like I would participate. Just such a cool thing to represent your country. So we'll see, but that's in a couple of years. I'm not sure when the training would start for that either, to be honest. But again, couple more years.
You mentioned the points and the players that you guys have. I'm curious, would the general fan notice the difference in John's offense at all? He said when we talked to him that he wasn't going to change much. Why would I? He said. But he's probably going to add some things that he likes. Would the general fan be able to tell a difference in what you guys look like this year, you think?
I'd say the NFL is a very copycat league. A lot of teams do the exact same thing, and it's the really finite details which separate teams from being good and being great. So I think you can look at anybody's film on any given Sunday and be like, well, they're running wide zone the same way that team's running wide zone, but why are they running the ball for 3 yards a carry, and why are they running it for 7 yards a carry? And I think you can break things down that way, and it really makes a difference. So to answer your question, I feel like no. But it comes down to the small details and the way you get coached.
You got a coordinator coming in, it's pretty much the same as what he's asking, but they always ask the quarterbacks, quarterback, offensive coordinator relationship, but the receiver, offensive coordinator relationship, do you have to get feel with him and him with you, and things you like to do and things you want to do that maybe Ben didn't do with you?
Sure. There might be different ways that Johnny wants to get me the ball. Maybe other areas where we might step away from it. Yeah, I think there's a relationship that needs to be built there as well, and we'll learn what each other needs, I guess. Yeah.